On live. There we go. What is going on, guys? Lee Sanders here. You are checking out a special edition of the RCWR Show as I'm coming at you guys for Saturday night of September 1st, 2018. We are covering All In. Finally, it went down. The All In event is now in the books, and we can pretty much marinate on everything that had came about from this 4+ hour event that was seen on pay-per-view and also on the Fight TV app. Come one, come all. Tune in for the next little bit as we're going to be covering all things wrestling entertainment and beyond. I promise we definitely are not going to give you guys anywhere close to a 4-hour show. My goal is to be done with this show in an hour tops or less. So let's see if we can do that for you guys. I do hope your weekend's off to a good start. I mean, if you're a pro wrestling fan, yeah, this has to be off to a really great start for your weekend, right? Especially going into the Labor Day holiday and all that, yeah? So look, before I go into this, I want to just say that I literally came back a couple of hours ago from Chicago, a grueling road trip back. Was on the road for about 10 hours, maybe 10 and a half hours. And I'm going to go into that whole spill about what all had went down, because we were supposed to leave much later, but we actually ended up leaving Chicago, me and the missus. We actually ended up leaving Chicago, I want to say at about 2:30 in the morning. And we had the room for like basically another like 10 hours or whatever. You guys do the math. But basically we had the room for a boatload more hours. And it was just, I'll tell you about it. There's going to be a special edition of the RCWR show. And we're actually going to be talking about it. Our Patreon members, they'll get first dibs on that. And then we'll try to figure out at a later date when we'll go on ahead and we'll release the audio for that. But grueling trip coming back. So if I'm lucky, I probably had slept maybe about 3 hours total. So as you would imagine, I'm definitely tired right now. 'Cause sadly, by the time I got in the house, it was pretty much sit down in front of the computer, set up the stream and all that, get everything coded perfectly. And then by the time that was over, pretty much it was time to do the show. And shout out to Gino. Thank you for the super chat, Gino. Appreciate that. Pretty much by the time I got done working out the kinks back in setting up the stream, it was time to check out the All In pre-show. So I'm definitely going to be sleeping good tonight when it's all said and done. Okay. I got a poll that's up right now. We have it up on Twitter at the RCWR Show. If you got Twitter, head on over there. I'm asking you guys, what did you think about the All In event? So sound off there. For those of you that do not have Twitter, have no fear. As soon as this stream is over, I will definitely post in the communities tab section asking you guys, what did you think of the All In event? Okay. So look, now that we've prefaced, all that, we kind of set that up all nice and properly for you guys. So I was out there in Chicago for a couple of days. It was a great homecoming. It was basically my return home to my old stomping grounds because I was born and raised in Chicago. And it was a bittersweet homecoming. I mainly went because I wanted to take part in the CM Punk meet and greet. And I know there's like some ridiculous prices that's being put out there. We've got some people saying it had cost $200, $300 for the whole CM Punk. Look, if you ended up paying any more than, I would say, 100 and up, I hope you got your money's worth. I hope it meant that much. But being part of the initial 400 people that had the opportunity to go to the Pro Wrestling Tees website and book tickets for the CM Punk meet and greet, the best in the world combo, which basically had got you a photograph and it had got you an autograph from CM Punk, and you had got a t-shirt right along with that. All of that, all those three things, that was flat out $80. That was it. Now, if you had missed out on the combo, then you had the opportunity to do autograph, and you could do the photo op, and I think that was maybe $60. If you just wanted one, then it was kind of like, okay, well, just do 60 or whatever. So there were very reasonable, affordable prices that were available for this. And I just want to clear up that discrepancy, because I've seen over the weekend that there were a lot of people saying, oh yeah, if you got $200, you got $200, $300 to blow. It didn't cost that initially. Okay. So I don't know if it was a situation where maybe after it all had went down, like all the tickets were up for sale. First of all, if you have tried to buy CM Punk meet and greet tickets outside of Pro Wrestling Tees, because the way they had it structured, you had to show up. Like whatever name was on that ticket, they were checking IDs or whatever. So if it was not you, they pretty much were sending your ass. No, it ain't happening. That was their way of like basically fighting the knuckleheads that want to get 50 boatload autographs and all that, and then they go turn right back around and they sell the SOBs on eBay. You know how they roll, guys. But no, it was very well organized, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. I think we're going to record it tomorrow. I'll talk a little bit more about it, but I actually had shared a personal story with CM Punk, and I could tell that it kind of touched him, so much so that like when we came back to go and do the photo op, he actually remembered me, said my name, and we talked a little bit more, and he was a really cool fucking dude. I know a couple of our listeners was asking, how was he? He was a cool fucking dude, really nice, just all around, just solid dude, honestly. So All in the books, no CM Punk. And I know that there's probably going to be those that went to this All In event and they're going to be saying, God damn, I paid this money. I had got the hotel. I did this. I participated in this whole weekend event with StarCast. I did all of these things. And the icing on the cake at the end, I didn't get CM Punk. What the hell? First off, I think you guys need to just calm down. Right? Just calm down for a minute. You had Young Bucks that jumped out there months ago, and they had said, hey, yeah, talk to, I can't remember which Young Buck it was, but they basically were like, yeah, I talked to CM Punk a couple of times a week, each week. We're really cool. We talk all things pro wrestling. The dude still loves pro wrestling, man. It's just that right now he's got his hands dipped into a couple of other different projects right now, but he still loves pro wrestling, man. Still wants to root us on, man. At the end of the day, you can't just walk away from something like that. And then Cody Rhodes had put the icing on the cake. He basically said, hey, we actually made CM Punk an offer. This was probably about 5 to 7 weeks before All In. And Cody Rhodes had revealed in an interview that he did speak with CM Punk, him and the Young Bucks. They gave CM Punk an offer. They weren't trying to have CM Punk in a match, but if you wanted to do a match, that was great. But basically, the way that they had approached CM Punk, it was, okay, look, we just think it would be really awesome seeing as how we're in your backwoods here. This is your home turf. It'd be really awesome if you could pop up, do something kind of cool, some type of a cool spot. Would be really nice. And when it was all said and done, they extended the olive branch. But Punk had decided, for whatever respected reasons, not the time, not the place. He didn't want to have anything to do with it. Now, I think when you really stop and you play some of the scenarios that's come about recently with Punk, everything that went down with the Dr. Amen, as I like to call him, that whole spill, right? And now you got this new pending lawsuit that's coming where Colt Cabana is suing Punk. You know about the rich relationship that Cabana has with ROH/New Japan, but primarily ROH, and their fingerprints can be felt all over this All In event, okay? So, talk about a toxic, very delicate situation to be going into. So for me personally, if you ask me if at any moment I felt that Punk was going to be coming to the All In event, I tell you, the way that the Pro Wrestling Tees store had everything kind of advertised, you're kind of led to the impression, and those that actually went to the All In, not the All In, but those of you that actually went to the Pro Wrestling Tees store, you can definitely back me up on this. The way that they were doing the sales promotion and everything, you're kind of led to the impression that maybe Punk was going to be doing something. But for me, if you ask me straight up, when was like the nail in the coffin that Punk was not going to be showing up to the event? My mind was made up officially when the whole stuff went down with Cabana. I just personally felt, no, there's just no way, no how that Punk is going to be doing any type of business going into, no, because it would have to be a situation where you would need to keep the two men separated somehow, like at all costs, right? What, you're going to keep maybe Punk in a separate dressing room or some shit like that and let Cabana go do his thing, and then once Cabana is done, okay, Cabana, like, go stay at the hotel and enjoy the rest of the show so we can go do our... No, I just wasn't picturing that. That's a lot of walking on eggshells. So for me, when the whole stuff went down with Cabana now trying to sue Punk, I said, nah, if there was ever a shot of All In, it's out the window now. It ain't happening, right? But then it kind of brings the interesting question, which is, well, damn, Lee, why would Punk do something like this at the Pro Wrestling Tees store? Why would he do the whole meet and greet and all that? I think, honestly, when you get right down to it, this was a rare opportunity for Punk now that he pretty much had the WWE lawsuit in the books, right? He's not focused on any MMA fights right now. All he's doing is the new season of Beastmaster and a couple of other different projects, right? So he's doing those things, and honestly, it's okay. There's a bunch of wrestling fans that's coming to Chicago. Hey, I live in Chicago. I do business with Pro Wrestling Tees. Okay, it's kind of like a win-win situation. Why not? Because if you really stop and think about it, Punk, you look at it like this. Look at it from this standpoint. If you really stop and think about it, the other time that Punk had did some type of a signing, it was when he put out that comic book for Marvel Comics, when he had wrote a little story for Thor. You guys remember that? And I remember there was just a boatload of people all over the place that were taking those signed Thor comic books and they were going on eBay, making a boatload of cash or whatever. But like, other than that, Punk's been kind of a little bit low key. So the fact that you had a whole bunch of wrestling fans that were going to be going in for this all-in event and everything, and then also look at it from this standpoint. If you watch the All In event tonight, in case you didn't know, apparently it's brought to you in part by Pro Wrestling Tees, where you can get all types of really cool shirts from your favorite wrestlers, right? So when you really stop and you just look at all of that, this was a win-win situation. This was an opportunity for Punk, contrary to how some people may feel about the man. This was an opportunity for him to say, hey, I know there's been a good amount of you fans that have been very supportive of me over the years, been kind of giving me my space, showing me that proper respect, and just letting me go through whatever it is that I'm going through right now. And hey, I'm kind of in a much better place now. And now that I'm kind of in a much better place, I kind of want to give back a little bit. So, hey, bunch of you fans are coming out here to my home turf. All right, you know what? We're going to make that a really cool, magical event for you guys. We're going to do something badass for you all. But then at the same time, he's friends with the Young Bucks, right? At least very cordial, very friendly with Cody Rhodes, right? These guys, they want to do everything that they can to make the All-In event a success. So for CM Punk to work that angle that he had worked, which I thought was beautifully awesome, because I can't tell you how many people I had spoke to that basically were financially in a position where, do I do StarCast? Do I do the All In event? Or do I do the CM Punk meet and greet? You know, like, there were so many people that I spoke to that sadly they could not do both. They had to pick one or the other. But on the flip side to that coin, you also have people that, hey, I'm actually doing all of it. Dudes, there were so many people in Bullet Club, New Japan gear, ROH. It wasn't even funny. There was even, believe it or not, there was even a good representation of Impact Wrestling fans. I BS you not. There was even a good representation of Impact Wrestling fans. But what was really dominating in the lines that I had saw, definitely Bullet Club, definitely New Japan Pro Wrestling. I stayed seeing the logo, you know, the whole white t-shirt and the yellow logo and all that. I stayed seeing that. And then just having the opportunity to talk to random people, and they're telling me what brought them to town. You know, some people I was able to find out because they volunteered the information. They were telling me what hotel they were staying at. And, you know, for a lot of people, it kind of came down to, okay, you know, we're going to try to do our sightseeing. We're going to, and that's the other thing. My God, there were so many people. You had people from Australia. You had definitely Chicago locals. You had people that were coming from Europe. You name it. I mean, there was, pick a card, any card. You had a nice royal flush that was going in, you know, when you were at this meet and greet for CM Punk. But a vast majority of the fans that were there in attendance, and I usually have a pretty good eye. I don't forget faces. A lot of the faces that I saw at tonight's All In event were at that CM Punk line. So that should tell you a lot right there, you know. But I know a lot of people are going to probably be upset that Punk didn't show up. But you guys really should not be upset, because the Young Bucks and Cody, they tried to be as very transparent as humanly possible. I know that there were some people that kind of felt like, nah, they're just throwing smoke and mirrors out there. They're actually going to go ahead. They're going to work something out with him, and he's going to do this. And I see the argument that is brought up of, you know, hey, how can Punk do this meet and greet at a pro wrestling tees store, but he doesn't do a meet and greet at the All In event? Well, quite simple. He doesn't do the meet and greet at the All In event because, first of all, remember how many seats were sold? Okay, and you're going to try to put CM Punk in there? Oh my God, that guy, no, that's an all day, no, that just ain't happening. And not everybody is sadly going to be able to get taken care of. Would it put more attention on that All In event? Yes, it would have put more attention on that All In event, because he would have been there signing autographs and all that. But I think right now, I'm no Dr. Phil, but let me put it to you like this. When you've been burned the way that Punk has with the WWE, and just taking it a step further, like when it comes in particular to us Chicago natives, we believe in loyalty to no fault. And, you know, we're almost kind of right up there with Terrell Owens, all right? We're kind of almost up there like that. If you happen to be bestowed upon our friendship, you have that friendship for life. Like, we will do any and everything for you. But if we feel slighted in the worst way possible, we just give you the fucking kiss of death. And, you know, for a lot of people that born and raised in Chicago and definitely know what it's like to be struggling because you're growing up in a low income housing environment type of situation, and you pretty much gotta fight tooth and nail to get what's yours. It's really hard coming up, especially if you were a kid coming up in the 80s or whatever in Chicago. it's really hard to find the right group of people that, okay, it seems like these people can do no wrong by me. So, I know some people would want to make the argument that, well, no, that's just how a lot of people are in general. And you can say that to a certain degree, but most Chicago natives I've come across, once that trust has been broken, it's like, nah, I'm pretty much fucking done with you. You can kiss my ass for all I care, right? So I think it's just honestly a situation where you take some recent bad experiences, and at this point, Punk is just trying to do what he can. And I think there will come a time where he will work with a wrestling promotion, and that on top of working with that wrestling promotion, as far as meet and greets and all that go, I still feel that when it's all said and done, he will do that. I think it's just a matter of trust and hooking up with the right team. That's the bottom line with regards to that. But the strategy that was used from just a marketing, a PR standpoint to bring so much attention to that, to Pro Wrestling Tees and to their 1 hour tea store and all that off Damien, I think, and it's a beautiful store, by the way, a very beautiful store. I think the way that they had set it up with CM Punk surrounding the mystery, building up even more hype, even more anticipation, I think if we were a promoter and we were trying to figure out how to generate as much buzz as humanly possible, we probably would have used the same tactics, right? So, no CM Punk, no problem for your All-In event. As honestly, overall, I thought the All-In event was actually fairly decent. I would have to say. I have to say there was a little bit of audio issues the beginning of the show. I did watch the All-In 0 Hour. That was pretty much on WGN America. Very rocky start within the first 10 minutes, as there was like some serious audio problems I had noticed. And not to go all blah, blah, blah in detail, but the issues I was noticing with the audio, it sounded like maybe somebody didn't plug all the way in an audio jack, because the audio was coming in very monotone. It did not sound surround. It wasn't surround sound. And it was like that for several minutes, and it was just horrendous. I couldn't stand what I was listening to, but it seemed like as the 0 Hour pre-show had advanced, it did get a little bit better and better. But I gotta tell you straight up, production value wise, I thought it was good, but you know what it honestly reminded me of? It honestly reminded me of just another freaking case of a typical ROH super show. Like, if I didn't see the pyro and all that other stuff, I wouldn't have been sure if I was watching an episode of Ring of Honor or if I was maybe watching something from New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm not knocking it in any type of way, but I'm just saying from the production standpoint, the stage, the way everything was set up, if I'm flipping through the channels, there really wasn't enough, hey, this is a milestone event that you're watching. This is very historic. It really didn't give me that vibe, although you had some really great matches on the card, which, by the way, the Cody Rhodes, Nick, Magnus, I'm sorry, you can tell me his real name all you want. I know that guy is Magnus, all right? So I'm going to call that guy Magnus. But, I like the story that was hyped up around that. And going into this matchup, let me see if I got this straight. So Cody Rhodes, he's trying to represent his dad. He's trying to represent his brother. Like, he realizes how prestigious this NWA World Heavyweight Championship is, right? And like, not only does he realizes and appreciates its value and its rich history, but his dad held that title on 3 occasions. And so, like, it means nothing but the world to him to win this title, right? Okay, man, do what you got to do at all costs. For the match to end the way that it did, and Cody Rhodes wins via a lame-ass schoolboy pin or whatever, like, that just rubbed me the wrong way. I know you guys are probably going to try to comfort me and say, well, Lee, look at it this way. This sets up a rematch between those two guys, man. Think about it for a second, because Magnus can now come right back and say, nah, man, you were just lucky, or I'm sorry, it just rubbed me the wrong way. It did. I would have preferred to seen any other type of finish that was more dominating, more the kid earned it, right? It just felt so, let me be real, it just felt like a little bit of a backhand to Magnus. Yeah, I know Magnus ain't everybody's cup of tea, but at the same time, give the man his due. He did put in his respected amount of work with the NWA in conjunction with Billy Corgan, Dave Lagana. I mean, just what they've been able to do with the NWA all these months, it's a team effort. It really is. And Mark in the chat, brother, look, you know me, man. I got nothing but love and respect for the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Love that guy tremendously. This ain't about if he was alive today, if he be proud. That's not what we talking about right now. What we talking about right now is how Cody won that title. And I'm sorry, for me, I'm just a stickler for detail, man. For me, a title like that, it's like, nah, man. It's like, go in there, beat this dude. I mean, I'm looking at all of these Chase for the Gold miniseries, and I'm looking at all of these, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes here of all of this hype, just hype, about how important this title is. And I see the Dave Meltzers popping up in this joint. I see Billy Corgan. I keep wanting to say Corbin. I am so programmed by freaking Baron Corbin right now. It's like not freaking funny, but Billy Corgan. All these people that's like hyping up this match basically, right? And I loved it. It was awesome. And you see that Cody has hooked up with Diamond Dallas Page. He's hooked up with Glacier. And who else did he hook up with? I mean, he's hooking up with all these different types of people to help him with his training and all that. Okay. It was almost like you were watching Rocky 1, Rocky 2. You're like, okay, well, this guy's got speed. Well, you're going to kind of have to make up for that. This guy's got size. Well, you're going to kind of have to counter that. You're going to have to make up for that, and you'll be able to make up for it this way. I mean, I was eating all of this up. I loved it. Like all the matches, Rhodes Magnus was the most intriguing one for me. And I thought the match overall was good. Make no mistake about it. I'm not taking a shit on the match itself. I love the little spots there where you had Jinder Mahal's buddy, Daivari. I love that spot where DDP just comes in, Diamond Cutter. I love that spot. That was awesome. I love the spot with Brandy. Brandy looked gorgeous tonight too, man. My God, that was a nice outfit. We got a double dose of Brandy tonight, by the way. I love that. I love that, man. Brandy, very beautiful, stunning woman. Kind of has a Holly Berry type of vibe to her, if you really kind of stop and think about it. But anyway, no, for me, it just came down to the finish of the match. That's the only thing I really had a problem with. Like, I really wish Cody would have been able to just definitively win it, right? Rather than, beginner's luck. That was just kind of, but still, overall, great match. Had no problem with that one whatsoever. Let's look at the rest of these matches. I know I'm kind of going a little bit out of order here. You guys got to forgive me. But honestly, the way I usually do these shows, it's like whatever comes to my mind. So you guys got to forgive me. But we'll definitely take it up from the top, work our way to the bottom here. Let's go. Let's blaze right through these. So our first pre-show matchup during the 0 hour, we had SoCal Uncensored, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky. They defeated them boys, Briscoe Brothers. I was rooting for the damn Briscoe Brothers. I actually had $20 on the line because somebody had hit me up literally the day before, and they were like, so you're that confident in the Briscoe Brothers, huh? I said, yes, I am. And it was actually a coworker of mine, and coworker was like, nah. It's like, I got to go with SoCal. I'm like, okay, well, how confident are you feeling? It's like, $20? Like, okay, a little steep, but, you know, what the hell? Sure, $20 is good. So now I got to go into work after the holiday and cough up $20. Hopefully I can get that back once the NFL season starts, man. But those two guys, yeah, those two tag teams, they had a pretty damn good matchup. Flip Gordon had won the 19-person over-budget battle royal to determine the #1 contender to face the ROH World Champion, Jay Lethal. I mean, honestly, if you really stop and think about it, two scenarios was playing out for a lot of us. One scenario was, hey, somehow Flip Gordon is going to be able to get on this card. Somehow he's going to be able to win this tournament. That's what a lot of us have figured. And then the other option we were going with was, okay, well, maybe Neville will make an appearance. And it's amazing how that just manifested. Like, as soon as that information had got put out about what was currently going on with him no longer officially being under a WWE contract per Dave Meltzer, you're just like, oh, you're just salivating. And I mean, my God, when I was talking to the people at the CM Punk meet and greet, Neville was like one of the main two topics that kept popping up. And there was actually this one guy, he was totally fucking cool. We were going back and forth, just hypothetically speaking. We pretty much were both shooting down the idea of CM Punk showing up at All In. But we were going through, okay, well, what if scenarios? Like, what could realistically happen as a way that maybe you could, you know, maybe introduce CM Punk on the card? And he put out this really awesome idea. What's the name of the bear? You guys got to forgive me because I'm not sure about some individuals. But what's the name of the business bear? What's his proper name? Basically, what this person was telling me in the line, he was going, you know, it'd be really badass if at one point, you know, maybe after Cody wins that NWA title or something like that, if maybe the business bear is in there with Brandy and the bear shaking his hand or whatever. And then it turns out the bear could either be Flip Gordon or the bear could be CM Punk. And I just looked at him and I said, dude, I said, you got to be the first person that like ever came at me with that type of an idea. That's like really badass. I like that. And he was like, yeah, he's like, I've just been marinating on that for the past couple of weeks. I think that'd be pretty badass if it was actually, you know, if it was actually go down like that. I'm like, okay, that'd be kind of cool. Okay, let's see what happens. But nah, neither one of those happened. But, you know, we kind of had an idea overall that Flip was somehow going to be able to get on this card. I guess we can jump right to his match that he had with Jay Lethal. It was nice seeing Lanny Poffo come out with Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal bringing back his Macho Man persona. Ooh, yeah. You ain't seen that in a minute. I love that. And it's so funny, too, because you see Jay Lethal as he's getting ready to come out to the main stage area. He's got the title in his hand, and you see this white hand just stop him and presents these pair of Macho Man shades, and Jay's looking at them like, what the heck am I supposed to do with these? And he actually takes them and he looks at them and he's kind of like, no. And then the next thing you know, that same white hand slapped him on the shoulders, and all of a sudden he starts turning into Macho Man like he's in a trance. Love that. I thought that was just really hilarious. And I gotta give Jay Lethal a lot of credit, man. Boy, I tell you, as far as guilty pleasures, Jay Lethal is hands down the best when it comes to in-ring performers. For me, if I were to make a top 15 list, he's definitely in my top 10. Definitely top 10. Because every time I see a Jay Lethal match, it doesn't matter if it's on pay-per-view. It doesn't matter if it's just regular TV. It could be ROH or whatever. It don't matter. Jay Lethal always puts in 110%. even if it's a situation where he's in a tag match, Jay Lethal always shines. No different tonight. I really, really had loved his performance tonight. So much so, yeah, I'm happy that he's not in the WWE. I legitimately am, and I'll tell you the reason why I'm happy he's not in the WWE. I think the style that we have grown accustomed to seeing of Jay Lethal in the ring over the years, I just feel much like with Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke, Jay, not extreme styles when it's not so time restrained, but in the realm of the WWE, and Shinsuke Nakamura is the greatest example of that right now, he's been very restricted compared to the work that we've seen of him in New Japan. And I just feel that as far as in-ring ability goes in the WWE realm, I just feel like he would be restricted. I feel like a lot of what he's doing right now that we've grown accustomed to, it would be trimmed. And that would suck. And I also feel that just creatively, promos and all that, I feel that would be trimmed down a bit as well. So I'm actually glad to see that he's still not doing anything with the WWE. I mean, look, if eventually he does do a little something, honestly, at this point, I would be more intrigued by the idea of a Jay Lethal working with someone that's really white hot right now in NXT. I would be more interested in something like that as opposed to just working with somebody on the main roster, right? But those two, great matchup. Him and Flip. I mean, Flip coming out with the G.I. Joe trunks and all that, kind of looking a little bit CM Punk inspired. I couldn't help but do a double take and go, am I looking at CM Punk or is this really... Oh, okay, yeah, it is him. Okay, never mind then. It's all good. But yeah, those two really, Flip Gordon I'm talking about, by the way. Flip Gordon pushing CM Punk inspired G.I. Joe trunks. I was kind of chuckling the whole time I was looking at my man's attire. Great back and forth. Let me look at my notes a little bit. I didn't butcher it as far as, and then this move had happened, and then this move had happened. But there were like definitely some spots that I had enjoyed that made me go, okay, that was actually pretty badass. And I'm seeing in my notes here, there wasn't anything in particular that jumped out in my mind with regards to Lethal and Flip Gordon, except to date, as long as I've been watching Flip Gordon. I've watched him off and on, I would say, the past 2 years max. I would have to say, as far as singles competition goes, what I saw of him tonight against Jay Lethal was his best performance yet, I personally feel. And it's got me curious, can he top what he did tonight at All In? He gonna have to try, but he did a phenomenal job tonight. See, what else? We also had, did I get through everything for the pre-show, guys? I think I did. Let me look here. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. So we go to the first match on the actual pay-per-view card. We saw Matt Cross, Son of Havoc, for you guys. He had defeated MJF. That match was actually about a little bit close to 10 minutes. It's a good matchup. You know, one thing about MJF reminds me, he's only 22 years old, by the way, guys. 22 years old. But the way he has this bravado about himself in the ring, I love how he works the crowd. I gotta be completely honest with you guys. This was my first time watching MJF, and I became a fan of this kid instantly. I'm going, okay, give me 10 minutes. Let me see what's going on with this kid. And in 10 minutes, I was impressed with what I saw. I loved his ring psychology. I loved how he would get the crowd to react a certain way. They were feeding right into him. And I mean, he's only 22, and, you know, look at how far along he's come. I think he's only been doing this whole pro wrestling genre for, I want to say maybe late 2014, 15 is when he got in it, and look at how he was able to hang with Matt. You know, if he can do all of this right now at just a young, tender age of 22, just imagine where this kid could be by the time he's 25, or hell, before he's even 30. So, I'm really, really impressed. There's not that many people these days that really jump out at me and I go, not only do I see money, but you know what? You look like you got something, and yeah, I need to keep my eye on you for a bit. And he's giving me that vibe. And it's so funny because when you first look at him, you almost kind of have a Colt Cabana vibe when you look at him. You kind of go, Colt Cabana, just smaller, more well-defined, right? But then the longer you look at him and you watch him, his body language and everything, he stands out just on his own, just fine. Soon, rather quickly, you start forgetting about the whole Colt Cabana. If you didn't see what I'm talking about, I promise you, if you catch the replay, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about with regards to the Cabana references and everything. But yeah, good matchup. I was really impressed by that young man. Let's talk about the next matchup. Only his third match, period. I got to give it up to my man, Green Arrow's Stephen Amell, who had took on and lost to Christopher Daniels. Stephen Amell, I'm telling you, man, as far as like one of many bright spots for this card tonight, I gotta say, Stephen went into this bad boy. First of all, when you look at his physique and you compare it to the other two times he got in the ring, he's made a serious transformation. That's the first thing that jumped out to me. The second thing that jumps out to me is when you look at his in-ring work leading up to now. What you saw of him tonight taking on Daniels, the man has made leaps and bounds of improvement. And I tell you what, man, I said it a couple of weeks ago. I think I might have said it as early as this week's show. It's really awesome to see a celebrity like Stephen Amell take pro wrestling seriously, because let's be honest, does anybody remember the infamous episode of Monday Night Raw and Kevin Hart was on the show? I want to say that episode of Raw, it might have came to us from DC. I'm not really sure, but I remember vividly when Kevin Hart was on commentary. Man, did it just sound really bad. Bad from the standpoint of you could tell that the WWE writers, the producers, they did not even try to give him a 5-minute briefing, at least, on what match he was going to be watching. And then maybe give him some key bullet points as far as, oh yeah, Cole, I'm very familiar with this feud. Yeah, wasn't it just a couple of weeks ago that Eve Marie, blah, 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 yakety smackety? Yeah, Kevin, you're absolutely right. He's an actor. He knows how to read and memorize lines and all that. He knows how to say the shit with emotion. But I remember on that night, I cringed because he just came off like, really, I'm just here to promote my movie. I could care less about this fake wrestling shit. That's just, honestly, I don't understand how the hell you people can watch this shit that you call this professional wrestling. You think I'm bad with my accent right now, people. I remember going back, I was in that line for the CM Punk, and at one point you had a girl that was in a Jeep, and they were like driving by probably like about 60 miles per hour at least. And they were driving past the 1 Hour Tea store, and the girl screams real loud, "Nice belt, losers." And she was like basically saying that to all the people that were in line with their title belts around their shoulders and all that other stuff. But Kevin Hart really did come off very like nonchalant, really didn't give a damn about what it was that he was saying, uninterested. And I remember I had actually talked to Mick Foley about that when he came up to the DC Improv for his one-man show. And I remember we had talked about it during the, what was it? It was autograph and meet and greet. We were able to get both knocked out at the same time without, okay, there's one, now go back to the line, come on back in 45 minutes. Now, he knocked both out right then and there, and we were talking about it, and he was like, yeah, he was like, yeah, it was really rough, but, what are you gonna do? It's like, he's there to promote his own stuff, so, you gotta take it for what it's worth. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But we've seen celebrities from time to time that come into the world of professional wrestling, sports entertainment, and they just lay a big old funk. But a guy like Stephen Amell, these past few times we've seen him, he's really been taking this seriously. And for that, the young man definitely has my respect. And I think it's going to be so funny that we're going to have people that's probably going to be on other shows. They're going to be saying the same damn thing, right? And here's where it gets, you fucked up, right? Is the fact that when it came to CM Punk having the matches that he had in the UFC, even though he lost, a lot of us gave him props. We said, hey, kudos to him. That's great that he was able to go out there and he was able to do that, because not everybody is going to go into that realm. This is like serious getting out of your comfort zone and doing something that you do not have no experience in whatsoever, right? But you're going to give it your all. You're going to go 110, win, lose, or draw. You'll be able to pat yourself on the back and say, hey, I did that. And I remember there were so many people that were just, anybody can do it. Okay, well, let's see you go in there and get your damn head knocked off your damn shoulders. Let's see if you can go do that. There's really not that many people that will do it. Even if you say to them, hey, you'll make $1 million. Yeah, I really don't want to be risking mental retardation. No, thank you. Yeah, and then all of a sudden I don't have any sense of smell, sense of taste anymore, because it happens to the best of the fighters. It does. That one fight, that's all it could take. So I think it's interesting that we had people that were crapping on Punk, right? But it's no different. It's the same beast. And to that I say, be consistent. That's all I'm saying. Be consistent. If you're going to act one way towards one individual, you can't flip the script because, oh, well, it's this guy. No, you got to keep it the same. You either keep it the same or you just don't touch that topic at all, as far as I'm concerned, right? But Stephen Amell, if he ever decides, you know what, as far as this whole acting goes, I think I maybe want to put that on chill and let me go into pro wrestling. Man, I'm sure that there would be like a boatload of wrestling promotions that would be happy to have that young man on board. But he did justice tonight. He really, really did. I mean, he even did some high risk maneuvers, kind of going a little bit Shane O'Mac there, man. I was loving that. Love that one spot in particular where he has Christopher Daniels, and you knew Christopher was playing possum. Christopher just, oh, well, since there's a wooden table right here, and you've got fucking Emil going, oh, all right where I want you, cool. He goes up to the top turnbuckle looking for a damn elbow drop, and the elbow drop, like, yeah, that looked pretty, that looked tempting, it was promising, but Daniels moved out the way just in time. Yeah, no, sorry, dude. But more than once, there was at least, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say 2, 3 max high-risk maneuvers that Steven had looked for. So I thought that was really impressive. He is definitely showing the evolution, and big shout out needs to go to the people that took the time out to train him. I would imagine Cody, Daniels, Kazarian. I would imagine there's a lot of people that had a hand in training him. So you guys doing good so far? If you are, sound off. Make sure you smash the like button, comment, all that good jazz. Oh wow, I didn't realize we are not streaming on our other platforms tonight. That's cool. Taking it easy. Let's keep going, man. Got a couple more matches to talk about here. Where are we? So we talked about Daniel, Stephen Amell. Oh, the Four Corner Survival match. Oh, yeah. Great fucking match. Kudos to Tessa Blanchard. Chelsea Green, Madison Rayne, Britt Baker. Shout out to all of those girls. They did fantastic. I was even taken back by Madison Rayne. You know, there used to be a time where when it came to Madison Rayne's in-ring work, I did not care for it. I moaned, I groaned, I pissed at my damn TV because it was, oh, not this Madison. I thought she was so, and I know some people are like, but she was kind of from that whole knockouts division. I don't know what it was, but she never really did click for me. It never really did. But then there was that one part right before she got pregnant where she was finally starting to break that mold. And I'm going, okay, I see you. Now you're really putting in the time and the effort. Now you're really trying. I can work with this now. And I was seeing potential. Much like how I was seeing potential with Velvet Sky. But then once they left Impact, and they come back whenever, it was like clean slate. Like their memory was just erased and there are deer and headlights all over again. But I have to say, Madison Rayne, really since she's come back from giving birth, it just really seems like she's had this chip on her shoulder where she wants to prove to herself that she can hang with the best and bring name value to herself. And she's really been doing a good job, I personally feel. Now, I'll tell you who was the person that was a wild card for me that I didn't know anything about, and that was actually Britt Baker. I did not know anything about this young girl, 27 years old. And I love me an educated woman, man. Apparently she attended Penn State University, worked as a fitness instructor, currently a dental student at the University of Pittsburgh School of Dental Medicine. So, I mean, that's badass. And not to mention, she's currently in a relationship with Adam Cole, baby! So, I mean, that's just fantastic to hear about all this. Some of the promotions that she's worked with, for you guys that maybe are not familiar with her, she's worked for Wrestle Circus, Remix Pro Wrestling, Monster Factory Pro. So, kind of gives you a little bit of a tiny backdrop on her. I was quite pleased with what I had saw of her. Tessa Blanchard, dudes, I gotta be honest, I got such a crush. Who doesn't have a crush on Tessa Blanchard? I mean, she is just white hot right now. And I was very curious how the commentating was going to go with regards to addressing Tessa Blanchard. Because, as you probably know by now, she did become Impact Women's Champion. And you know how usually Impact Wrestling, they kind of like to be all hush-hush because they want you to watch the X amount of weeks in programming leading up to, right? But they acknowledged it and you're going, oh, okay, this is nice. All right, well, now we got to see this match. We got to see how it went down, how she got crowned and everything. But she just has the hottest hand right now when it comes to female pro wrestling. Now, I got to see how this went down with her becoming champion, because one can be tempted to say, damn it, they hot shot her already. And that has always been a problem with, Mark, what are you talking about? 5. There were 5? What are you talking about, brother? I got Mark in the chat saying 5. Let's see what he's talking about here. 5 what? $5 footlongs? 5, give me 5. Give you $5. High five. 5 Powerball. What you talking about, Mark? You gotta enlighten me, brother. But no, Tessa Blanchard. I gotta see how that all plays out, because one could make the argument they freaking hot shot her, and that's always been a little bit of a negative history with regards to Impact Wrestling. Once they typically see that fans are gravitating towards a particular wrestler, okay, well, let's just go ahead, let's hotshot them. And they just blow the load way too early. That's just the history that they have shown. So I'm kind of curious how exactly they did Tessa Blanchard. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But all those girls, shout out to them. Tessa Blanchard actually had won that matchup and won it in style. If I had only the one piece of advice that I could give Tessa, one piece of constructive criticism, it's sell the moves more. When I say sell the moves more, go back and watch all she was doing, in particular when she's the one that is being hit. She's not doing a good enough job, I personally feel, in selling for that opponent. Man, I can remember at one point during this match, there was a nice, good, strong, devastating drop kick, and you're going, ooh, that's that mule kick to the chest. Okay, you should be staggering, getting up, and all that. And so she takes the drop kick, and she's not even down 10 seconds. I mean, like 2 seconds, and it was almost like a damn kip up. And I've noticed that a lot about her during her time I've seen her in Impact Wrestling so far, is that she does not sell enough for her opponents. And now that I've actually said that, go back, see what I had saw from earlier tonight, and then just peep that out with her going forward, and you'll definitely notice that. But I mean, other than that, you know, she takes her time, you know, she does it right, she tells the story, you know, she just needs to fine-tune that a little bit more. Alan in the chat, there's a cool feature since you're watching this on YouTube. You can actually just hit the rewind. We talked about that about 20 minutes ago, my friend. See, let's keep going here. Or maybe somebody in the chat can help Alan out in there. Help him out. Emil doing 5 high-risk moves. Okay, thank you, Mark. Damn, Mark, you just caught on to that part? You guys got me wondering how much of a delay there is there, because God, I didn't put this on any type of a delay. So anyway, let's keep going, man. All right, so we got a couple of more spots here. I'm just like looking at my notes here as well, just making sure there's nothing in particular that I had missed. And no, so far I've got all the points. Oh yeah, by the way, before we get off of that women's match, with regards to how Tessa won that, you couldn't help but wonder if that was a botch spot or whatever. We actually saw Tessa win via hammerlock DDT. God, I love when she does that hammerlock DDT, but when the referee is counting, you just swore that like something was supposed to happen. Like maybe there was supposed to be a kick out or somebody was supposed to interfere. The fans were kind of in shock. They were kind of quiet and they were booing because they really weren't sure what the hell was going on. But then once they realized it was Tessa that actually won, they started cheering and everything was good. Let's go to our next matchup. Let's talk about, yeah, Cody. We pretty much talked about Cody, and I'm not calling him his real name. I'm not calling him that. You can forget that. That's Magnus, as far as I'm concerned. That's Magnus. We talked about that one. Probably the stupidest. Oh, and by the way, with regards to Christopher Daniels and Stephen Amell, in attendance we had singer John Mayer, and there was a special referee for that match between Daniels and Amell. It was actually the hardcore legend himself, Jerry Lynn. I hardly did not recognize Jerry Lynn tonight. When I first saw him, I'm thinking, is that Jeff Jarrett? Who the hell is that? And they said it's Jerry Lynn. I had to squint and I'm going, holy crap, it is Jerry Lynn. Like, damn. Last time I saw Jerry Lynn, he still had long hair and he was a little bit more bigger. Not in a fat way. He just had more bulk to him. But he's gotten a lot smaller, man. Then again, time does fly, because it feels like the last time I saw Jerry Lynn on TV was maybe, for me, was 5 years ago. So it's amazing how time flies. All right, let's go to our next matchup, which was See, we talked about Cody. Yeah. Oh, man. Do we have to talk about this matchup? I really don't want to talk about this matchup, but we don't have a choice. The Chicago Street Fight. Hangman Page defeating Joey Janela with Penelope Ford. Okay, first off, it was a good match, and I love the spot where we saw Penelope get involved. I mean, she did more than just distract the ref. No, I mean, since this was a Chicago street fight, I mean, she actually was getting physical with Hangman Page, hitting him and everything. I was loving it. I mean, it brought for me a really nice, cool element to this particular matchup. And when I just look at all the matches that we got tonight in general, I would honestly say, if you were a fan that was looking for some type of a nice, cool alternative, and maybe you never made an investment in checking out ROH, never made an investment in checking out New Japan, then I would say tonight this was like straight up a wrestling show that you got, right? And there ain't nothing wrong with that. And yeah, look, man, was it a quick cash and grab? What isn't a cash and grab these days is my question. Everybody is so goddamn caught up on cash and grab. It's like, hey, at the end of the day, whether some of you guys want to admit it or not, at the end of the day, it does come down to business. It does come down to dollars. And if it ain't making you dollars, then it don't make sense. And I don't mean CENTS. I mean the common sense, the SENSE, right? So where I differ from most people is, okay, well, can you prove that shady tactics were used? Can you prove that there was some type of a manipulation? And, I do believe in good hard-earned work, putting in the legwork, good networking. I do believe in all that. I don't tell you this if I'm not practicing it myself, right? Good practices like that, good networking, making it your business to know the right people, having a really good game plan, trying to come up with all the scenarios that's possibly, kind of like Avengers, Is there any scenario where we beat Thanos? And you're just going through all the situations, you're going through all the scenarios, right? To try to find a feasible, okay, well, we can draw money this way. I don't care if you're a podcaster. I don't care if I got friends that have their own respected wrestling promotions, and I got a friend. I don't want to mention them because I don't, want to make it seem like I'm bashing. Because I'm not. But one of my friends who has their own respected pro wrestling business, they can't even get a draw of 500 people. Of 500 people. So you know what? However they were able to do what they were able to do, even if it was questionable tactics, at the end of the day, they did what they needed to do to make those dollars add up. And to that, I say, hey, you got my respect. Because at the end of the day, man, it's like, look, as long as you're not doing illegal shit, I honestly could care two shits not. Because what business is it of mine how you make your money? Is it hurting me? Is it hurting my family? Because if the answers to those questions are no, then why the hell should I care? I would just like to believe that in good faith, you did use good tactics. That's just all I'm saying. But how did we get on that topic anyway? I have the slightest clue. Everything strings together, though. I'm sure that there was a nice setup, and that's how we got into that whole thing. Hangman, Adam Page. Yeah, we were talking about the Chicago street fight earlier. Poor Ian. You know, Ian, Don Callis, Excalibur providing color commentating all throughout the night for this event. We heard Ian, who was putting over Cracker Barrel like a mother. And at one point, Don goes, hey, you've already said that twice now. Like, come on. And you could tell throughout the night, Don Callis was busting Ian's balls. And, and for me, I loved hearing the commentating on this one because, as y'all had saw, freaking Hangman Page, you know, he killed Joey Ryan or whatever. He didn't believe Joey Ryan actually had a big dick. So you're going, what the hell, right? So apparently he killed him with a shoe or bashed him with a phone. Whatever, he killed Joey Ryan. You killed Joey! Whoa! But like, you go into this match, and Don Callis, so freaking clever, so freaking spot on. It's hot. You gotta forgive me if I'm fumbling with my words here tonight, because I forgot to turn my damn ceiling fan on, so I'm actually hot. It's very hard to concentrate. At one point, we hear Ian say, well, man, about the only thing you can do right now is, I mean, hell, the way this match is looking, Hangman Page doesn't have that many options. I mean, you know, he can't murder him. He can't shoot him. And then Don just quickly comes right in there. Yet he somehow was able to kill Joey Ryan. And here he is wrestling tonight. He's not in jail right now. So, and you're just going, oh, damn, Don is schooling Ian. I was loving that. He was schooling him all throughout the night. I love that. I love the way that the match had ended. I thought it was a very questionable finish. I felt it was a very risky, a very dumb finish. I took satisfaction in knowing that, okay, you did this in front of 10,000 people. It's about shock and awe. But even the people in attendance were kind of wondering, hey, is Joey okay? Because we see, to close out the match, a rites of passage done by Hangman Page from the top of the ladder as he sent frickin' Crown first. He sent Joey through a wooden table. And you see that, you're going, oh my God, tell me that did not just happen. And you could almost feel the gasp from the crowd in attendance, because like, as cool of a move as that was, you're kind of going, damn, was that really necessary? But when you kind of start seeing that Joey's actually okay, he's moving around a little bit, fingers, feet, and all that, you go, okay, well, he's all right. That's all that matters. Then we see all the lights go off, kind of have like an Undertaker moment. Next thing you know, we see walking dicks. I can't make this up, folks. I wish I was being crude. I wish I was trolling you guys. I know we have some of you guys that watch the shows with your kids or whatever, and you're going, lead a language. I BS you not. Walking air balloon men dressed as dicks and balls, dick and balls, came out, and they kind of did like a Undertaker, oh, these nuts, you know, they basically were doing that, you know, a little Omen, you know, and they're just one line here, another line there, and you see on the Titantron, you see a bloodied up Joey Ryan, dead corpse or whatever, pretty much shows his crotch, and it shows Joey Ryan getting an erection that you can see through his pants. And Joey Ryan, he returns, he pops up, he's got his classic attire on, shades and everything, gets in the ring. Paige can't believe that this guy is actually alive. They start fighting. Joey Ryan gets the upper hand. You know, it's like, what I don't understand though, like, Hangman Page is in such a damn trance. He allows for Joey Ryan not only to get in the ring, but I love how he allows Joey Ryan to get a bottle of his baby oil and squirt himself down, squirt that stuff down his trunks and all that. And then they're fighting. It's like, no, as soon as he gets in the ring, beat his ass, get up on him. But I get it. He was in a trance. But Page, he got his ass handed to him. I love seeing Joey Ryan dip into his trunks and he pulls out a lollipop and just perfect timing. He like throws that bad boy in Page's mouth. Super kicks the shit out of him. Loved all of that. I had a hearty ass laugh. But for me, seeing the walking dicks, yeah, you could say druids, but you know what? I like that little dig that I said there where they all come out. I wish they would have came on out there going, these nuts. That would have been badass for me. But walking dick and balls, I've seen it all in 2018. I never thought in 2018 I would see men dressed up as air balloon, dick, and balls. You can't make this stuff up. Anyway, we told you about the Jay Lethal Flip Gordon matchup. That one was for the ROH Championship. I think we only got 3 more matches to talk about. Let's pump through these. And then we can definitely open up the phone lines if you guys want to call in. Otherwise, that works for me because I have been like on the road all day. I haven't slept. So we got 3 more matches. Let's go. We got... And it's 3 more matches because some of the matches we already talked about. If it sounds out of order, it's because we already talked about them. All right, we had Kenny Omega defeat Penta El Zero, or Pentagon Jr. or Pentagon, you know, El Blanco, or guys, like, it's hard to keep up with this guy's name, man, because it's like all over, but I still know the guy as Pentagon. But anyway, Kenny Omega, Pentagon, the match of the night. Probably for me, as far as selections, when I look back on 2018 matches of the year, I would give this one an honorable mention. Kenny Omega, Pentagon, tear the roof off, man. I love these guys. I love what they did. First time ever locking it up. Classic. Fucking classic. Man, we saw Kenny Omega, though. He was spamming the hell out of them damn V-triggers, man. I ain't never seen so many damn V-triggers in a match done before in my entire life, man. I'm going, damn, what's it going to take to end this? Like, what does Kenny Omega have to do? And at one point, he just, like, towards the end of the match, he just went ballistic. He was just doing V-triggers. And then he did the spinning Fear Factor. Oh my God, that spinning Fear Factor. I was, woo. You talk about a move that, hey, you want to try this? No. I'm looking at that move. I'm going, nope. I would rather, if push came to shove, I would rather take a pile driver any day of the week, but before I take a spinning Fear Factor by either one of those guys, because, and kudos to them, they did a really good job when they were doing it on each other. I mean, you swore that, they dome got hit. That's neck problems instantly, right? Oh my God, that move just, I jumped and I cringed at the times I saw these guys doing it. But no, towards the end of the match, Kenny Omega actually had hit a spinning Fear Factor, and then he went in for a V-trigger. I swear to God, Kenny Omega throughout this match, he had to have done at least, felt like damn near close to 10 V-triggers. But what finally sealed the deal was a Fear Factor followed up by a V-trigger. He gets the W, and lights go out. You're thinking, wow, technical difficulties once again? What the hell's going on here? Lights come back on, and you see Kenny Omega. He's like, what the hell? And he just resumes giving props to the crowd, thanking them and everything. And Pentagon standing there behind Kenny looking pissed and just starts attacking him. And you're going, damn, all of a sudden Pentagon has like a second burst of energy. He got like that Undertaker serum. What's going on here? And then you realize when you look at the left arm, wait a minute. the tattoo design here. What's going on here? Is it possibly? And I saw this a mile away. I'm going, come on, take it off. Take it off. Codebreaker sealed the deal for me. Chris Jericho. The same Chris Jericho that said, no. I'm doing my cruise thing, and I tried to talk to Triple H and Vince, and they gave me their blessing, but they didn't really want to have anything to do with that. Yeah, I told Vince about New Japan, and he was like, yeah, you got to get on that. That's awesome. Great. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I could never see myself working for another promotion in the United States because I don't want to go against the grain with the WWE. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to be disrespectful. Well, here is Chris Jericho doing what he did, showing up at All In. Great moment. And you know what? You got to give Jericho a lot of credit. Jericho knows what's freaking popular. Jericho always is a step ahead of everybody else. And you just go, Jericho, as old as this guy is, okay, how can he continue to stay relevant? What else is he going to do? Well, what other ace does he have up his sleeve this go round? And somehow Jericho is always able to do that. And I commend him tremendously for this because he had so many people, including myself, going, all right, well, he doesn't want to go up against WWE. He's trying to be a nice, good team player or whatever. Okay. And I would like to just hear him on his next show explain how this all came about. And I thought it was perfect because basically Jericho attacking Kenny Omega, he sets it up perfectly. He actually grabs the microphone after he does 2 code breakers to Kenny Omega. He grabs the microphone and says, Kenny Omega, I'll see you on the cruise. So you're going, okay, so it's Jericho Omega Part 2 on the cruise. And it's so funny because I was one of the first people after Alpha and Omega in New Japan. I was like one of the first handful of people to say to Jericho out in the open on social media, dudes, you got to do Part 2. You got to do it on the cruise. What's up? And I can only imagine how many other people were like, dude, if you can have that on the cruise, that would be badass. And now it's going to be on the cruise. So that's pretty damn awesome. That's pretty damn awesome how everything just strung along and how it's setting up the cruise of Jericho. But the fact that Jericho, and I like the placement of this because it's helping. It knocked out so many things, right? It knocked out so many birds with one stone. On the one hand, okay, the next chapter in the Omega Alpha feud. Okay, you got that. All right, we need some buzz for this all-in event. Okay, well, there's your buzz right there. Your other is, hey, as far as Jericho working with promotions in the United States, wait a minute. Anything's possible, especially when you got in the rearview mirror rumblings that Jericho is potentially going to be coming to Impact Wrestling next year. I hope they're able to work something out with Jericho because they need name recognition right now. They need some type of marquee name value. I don't mean a Hulk Hogan or Goldberg or Shawn Michaels. I don't mean anything like that. Jericho he has that proven track record. You need somebody to host a show. What is it? Does it have to do with music? Is it a reality show? What is it? Okay, well, Jericho can do that. You need something musical. Jericho's got you covered, right? Jericho is just a jack of all trades, and Impact Wrestling could benefit tremendously with a mind like Jericho working with Impact Wrestling. Yeah, ultimately, it could probably help get them a much better deal on Pop TV in a way where they're actually seeing more revenue, or maybe even get them a better deal with another network, right? Because truth be told, the ratings just ain't what they used to be. And sadly, a large part of that comes down to you keep moving so much it's hard for the viewers to catch up. But if you could add a marquee name like a Chris Jericho, and, you know, I think, honestly, the Thursday nights, that's where they should continue to be, you know, but we'll see how it all plays out. But I love the fact that Jericho just continues to just be one step ahead, and it's always, all right, what's another cool way that we can get people talking? I mean, seriously, great stuff. Great freaking stuff. What else we got here? We got like 2 more matches, yeah. Okada taking on Marty Scurll. Fucking fantastic matchup. That was actually pretty good. We saw Okada defeat Marty Scurll. You know, I don't actually have too much to say about this matchup because 2 things. One, I was starting ready to do the show for you guys, and then the second thing, I've seen enough Okada matches. I know what Okada is capable of. For me, this was actually more about really trying to take in Marty Scurll and really trying to see what all the buzz was about. Because I see this guy, and he's in his penguin outfit, and it reminds me so much of the Batman Telltale's game. If you guys have played that, you know exactly, when you see the design for the penguin in that game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm going, wow, like, this guy seems kind of cool. This is a guy I sadly have not had enough opportunity to watch many of his matches. And I would have to say he's been under my radar about maybe a year, maybe almost a year and a half. And I'm still a little bit, for me, the verdict is still out. I know there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be checking this out, and they're going to be like, you don't like Marty Scurll. I'm not saying that. It's just, I can't quite put my finger on that guy. He's got a great entrance. I love the attire that he wears to the ring. I thought he hanged very well with Okada. I really did. Because honestly, I thought Okada was just going to eat him alive. I'm going, Okada and this guy? I'm looking at Marty. I'm going, this guy is going to be able to hang with Okada? I'm not seeing that. But he proved me wrong. He was able to hang with him. But there's just something, I can't quite put my finger on it. There's just something about Marty that's throwing me off. And I wish I knew what it was. I really do. I don't know if it's, I can't say promos because I haven't really seen enough of his promos to really, you know, I think this is a case where I'm going to defer to you guys. And I want for you guys to better educate me by telling me what is it about Marty Scurll that you like. And if you could give recommendations on Marty Scurll matches that I should check out, and maybe I can kind of get to where you guys are right now. But I'm looking at him and I'm going, I don't see what the big deal is. No knock to him, but he's a small, average sized guy, typical look, like any other wrestler I've seen down in development or whatever that may or may not get the call up. Like, what exactly, aside from the ring attire, what else is it about this young man that stands out, that has people in such a, you know, I don't get that. So I'll have to rely on you guys for that one. No knock to him, just got to rely on you guys for that one. And the main event match, we saw the Golden Elite, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Kota Ibushi. They defeated Rey Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandito with Theo Rossi. It was a 6-man tag team matchup. I love seeing Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio, he kind of threw me off. I was wondering if Rey Mysterio was Pikachu or if he was Wolverine. It was one of the two, because I'm looking at him and I'm going, Pikachu? Like, what is that? Like, no, it's not Pikachu. It's that Wolverine. And they got in closer. I'm going, it's Wolverine. Okay, awesome. The great seeing Ray Ray. Seemed mainly like a spot fest. It really did. I tried my best to get into this matchup, but it just felt so damn rushed. It did. It felt so rushed. I'm looking when Rey Mysterio's music hits, and I'm looking at the cable box on top of the TV, and I'm looking at the time, and I'm going, okay, these guys got to take it on home, and they got to take it home like ASAP, because 11 p.m. Eastern is coming. So let's go already. And for me, it just really seemed like spot fest after spot fest after spot fest. It felt very rushed. I just really felt like this did not really live up to the hype that it should have lived up to. And I kind of felt as though, honestly, if this would have went almost 20 minutes, I think that would have sufficed. And you knew something was up, because when they won, the Golden Elite, when they won, that was pretty much it. Like, if you were watching on Fight TV, you instantly had got a black screen, and you're going, what the fuck happened? And I immediately was on Twitter, and I'm looking at the Fight TV people, and they're saying the stream is officially over. You guys aren't missing anything. We're getting ready to make this be available for you guys to watch on demand for your replaying pleasure. So you're going, oh, okay, so we didn't miss anything. But the way that it had abruptly ended, you're kind of going, okay, did something weird happen? Was there another technical what the fuck? Or, was the pay-per-view just over? And because the commentators, they didn't even really properly get to say, hey, you fans, you made this happen. Those of you that ordered this, especially those of you that, came to this event, honestly, this whole week that we've been having up here leading up to this, we thank you guys so much. We didn't get that hard, hey, appreciation, gratitude. We didn't get that. It was like, thanks for the money and bye. And you're like, okay, you're just it's not gonna take care of itself, honey. I was like, and get right to it and blow. But no, yeah, I'm with Esther. Esther saying in the chat, they ran out of time and had to rush. If they don't show the ending of the match, they have to return everyone's money. That's for sure. That's for sure. It just, but they did good. They did good, because I saw the picture that Cody Rhodes had put out of himself shortly after he did his match, and he said, as you guys can see, I'm back here and I'm working the monitors. I'm working on these next matches and everything. I think they could have trimmed on some of the matches, because I'm looking at all the matches right now, and honestly, there's about, I would say, 3 matches that are over 20 minutes. They easily could have gone back and said, okay, you know what? Let's actually trim this one a bit, so, this match can have that, and then let's trim this one. They could have trimmed in at least 3 of the matches, and the 3 matches I'm looking at off the break. They could have trimmed Marty taking on Okada, because that was over 26 minutes. They definitely could have trimmed Cody taking on Magnus. That was a little bit over 22 minutes. They could have trimmed Hangman Page taking on Janela. That was about a little over 20 minutes. So they could have easily trimmed one of those matches or 2 out of those 3 matches and made sure that the proper time was given for that main event and really bring it home. But then at the same time, you also got to look at it like this. These fans have been at StarCast all freaking week. Everything pretty much has been leading on up to tonight's All-In event. And then you have the pre-show that started at 6 p.m. Eastern. The actual pay-per-view itself began at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then it doesn't go off until 11. So, I mean, think about that. So there's your 6 o'clock hour. That's gone. Then you got 7, 8, 9, 10. You almost got yourself a fucking 6-hour event, basically. Right? 6, Well, no, you want to get technical because it began at 6. Okay, well, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 5 hours. Let's be real, 5 hours. But you could kind of say 6 hours too. But no, that's a bit long. So I can imagine the fans pretty tired, pretty restless, and hey, hopefully there's an after show. I would imagine that there is. There's going to be some type of an after party or something like that that's going to be going down, and then I think tomorrow they're going to be doing something, and that's pretty much going to be the end of it as going to the Labor Day holiday. But on that note, I'm going to say that this all-in event for the first go-round, I'm going to go on ahead and say that this gets a... I'm going to say it's a pass. As far as pass or fail, I'm going to say it's a pass. Let's see what you guys had said on Twitter here, looking at the polling results here. And if you want to cast your vote, let me know what you had thought about the pay-per-view sound off. If you guys want to call into the show, you can do so right now. Go ahead, call in, no problem. And let me look at the polling result here. So we have 33 votes that's coming in right now. So far, I see 3% are giving the event a thumbs down. 97% are giving it a thumbs up. Okay. We do have a third option, which is staying in the middle. Nobody has selected that. So you guys feel free to sign off on that and let your voices be heard. I'm going to revisit that poll too on Tuesday's RCWR show for you guys. Let's see what we got here. And who else we got? I'm looking at the Twitter timeline here. See what we got. It's cool. You sing it, then I'll share my thoughts. It's all good though. Can't please everyone. It's a tough song. Oh, I'm so... Oh my God. Yeah, it is a tough song. It is a tough song. Okay, I got to get you guys caught up to speed. So during the All In event, there was a young woman that had performed the national anthem. And I got to read the tweet. I didn't delete it or anything. I got to man up to it now. Well, I wasn't going to pedal back before, but I actually heard from the singer themselves. So the tweet I put out, I had said, time for All In, but who is singing the national anthem? That is terrible, man. Terrible. And I actually had put up the Charles Barkley gif, and he's going terrible. And I actually heard from S. Royale herself. She said, it's cool. You sing it. Then I'll share my thoughts. It's all good, though. Can't please everyone. It's a tough song. Hey, you would not catch me singing that song because I know my range. I know my limits. I know my strengths. And my strengths are singing rock and metal songs. That's where my strength is, right? A couple of times over the years, me and some good buddies of mine, we get together and be hammering out some songs, cover renditions and all that. And yeah, for me, I'm not doing that, you know. But, you know, it's like at the end of the day, I like the fact that she kind of took this as a good sport, because it really wasn't knocking her. It was just, honestly, I could actually defend this woman to a degree, because it did seem like the first half of the show, there were audio problems, right down to the point when they had introduced her. I want to say it was Justin Roberts, former WWE announcer. All throughout the night, he was introducing the folks for the card. When the show opened up, you could barely hear his microphone, and you're going, what the hell? It sounded like a jack was missing, or a jack was halfway out and it should have been placed in. You go to her singing, and she had like the same thing that was going on, and she sounded as if she was not in tune. And it was, you know, I'm not saying she didn't suck. It was just like, damn, for me, it was terrible from the standpoint of it didn't sound like it was syncing up. She didn't sound like she was monitoring herself well. And the way it came off on TV, it just sounded like somebody was messing around with the audio equipment and they didn't hook it up. I ain't saying auto-tune her voice or anything like that. But man, yeah, you're definitely right, S. Royal. You can't please everyone and you shouldn't operate like that, because when you start operating like that, then you're not being yourself. It's like, do what you do. It's like, and I like that. I like that she replied to that. That's cool, because I didn't even tag her in that bad boy. So that's awesome. See what you guys are saying in the chat here before we get ready to wrap it up. I got Mark in the chat saying, check out Marty's work in What Culture. Fuck What Culture. I'm not doing What Culture. I can't stand What Culture. I can't stand them with a passion. What's the other thing you said? No, I'm not checking out What Culture. Wookie. Hey, Wookie, what's up, man? I recognize Wookie. Wookie, it was okay, but I feel it could have been a lot better. Yeah. Let's see. Lee, you look a lot healthier. Love the show. Cocaine, man. Hell of a drug. Try some. No, seriously. Just picking on you. What's up? J-Rock, the All-In event made me say for the first time in a long time, WWE has some competition. Interesting. Yeah, I won't say they have competition, but you know what, man? Let's look at it from this standpoint. Let's look at a positive thing for a moment. Damn, it's getting hot. The fact that New Japan Pro Wrestling, in conjunction with Ring of Honor, was able to basically do this All-In event, and like they basically gave the Young Bucks and Cody their blessing, like, okay, look, take our resources or what have you, and you guys, you go out, you make it happen, and we're backing you 100%. We got you guys booked the show however you want to do it. You the boys, go out there, do it. Just represent us proud, represent the company proud, go do it. And they were able to do this, right? You're going, wow, that's awesome. And then the fact that we've got Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling successfully able to sell out MSG, you're going, wow, like this is... if you are the WWE, you're going, wow, we thought we had a strong arm on all the territories here, all the venues here in the U.S. Wow, look at what's going on now. And you knew that eventually this was going to happen, though, because all the time and energy that they're spending on NXT and making that be... And now stop and think about that for a second. Stop and think about that for a second. At any time over the years, WWE could have easily worked out some type of a relationship where, if not once a week, at least once a month, they could have gone up to MSG, run some small shows. They could have done that, but they decided, no, we don't want to do that. And then it's like, okay, well, if you're not going to do SummerSlam, if you're rarely going to come over here for Raw and SmackDown and all that, yeah, after a while, it's no different than standing up a girlfriend so many times. You're supposed to hook up with them, make out, do whatever, make a little coffee, but you keep standing them up. What do you think she's going to do? Eventually, she's going to go find somebody else to go make some coffee with. And eventually, that's the situation that came at hand, which was ROH, New Japan. They're in a position, okay, hey, look, we're interested in, and people at MSG, or, well, look, we ain't tied down, so see what we can do something. It's a telling tale. It's a telling tale as far as fans wanting alternatives, wanting more viable options. You have fans that want to gladly make an investment in a wrestling promotion, but only if they know it's going to be around. only if they know that it really has a shot at being successful. And I think that for all the people that wanted to invest in this all in, I think well, hey, here's an idea that hasn't been done since like the 80s or the 70s, where wrestlers were pretty much, what you got tonight was basically a throwback. Except it was those that's currently in the business that's actually, setting the cards up and all that. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you have the guys that are out there making the money. They know what the crowd wants, and they're the ones that's booking it. Hell yeah. Yeah, if you got a Cody Rhodes, if you got the Young Bucks, if you got a Joey Ryan, hell yeah, you're going to be, if you got Billy Corgan, yeah, hell yeah, you're going to be able to figure out. You got Dave Lagana, hell yeah, you're going to be able to figure all of that shit out. So I think if there's really anything you can take away from what went down tonight, and then just looking at what went down with MSG, is the fact that fans want change. They want diversity. What they're seeing from the WWE product, for some fans, just is not cutting it. And I mean, I can't tell you enough. When I was waiting in line, and even after I was done with my meet and greet with CM Punk, and I just, out of curiosity, I can't tell you how many people were, if they weren't wearing a CM Punk shirt, nothing but fucking Bullet Club all over the place, or New Japan. Couple of Impact Wrestlings, but really the Bullet Club, the New Japan was just dominating, man. You could tell that these were people that, we tried the WWE, but yeah, we're over here now. We're going in this direction. You even had a decent amount, now that I'm really thinking about it more, you even had a decent amount of ROH memorabilia that was being represented. So break it down like this. Number one overall was Bullet Club. A lot of Bullet Club shirts. Number two, I would say CM Punk. Some type of a CM Punk shirt somebody was wearing. Number three, I would have to say it was New Japan Pro Wrestling, the traditional logo and all that. Number four, I would have to say ROH, and then last place, I would say Impact Wrestling. That's the order in which I saw like how like the fans were, and it was like, wow, this is cool, But the people I spoke to, they knew any and everything that was going on in the wrestling business. They could, people I talked to, they could tell you what was going on with the WWE. They could tell you what was going on with. It was awesome. I mean, it was really, really awesome. But what I genuinely was picking up from those I spoke with was, hey, this is awesome, because we the fans, it's like we're part of something special here. We're part of a movement. And Jay Rock points it out so beautifully in the chat. We probably are seeing a resurgence in the wrestling business. I don't know if I really want to say resurgence, but I definitely will say fans want better alternatives. I will say that. And here's the other thing. Lastly, it's awesome seeing that now you got Sinclair Broadcasting for the first time in many years. Now you got Sinclair Broadcasting going, okay, you know what? We've been with these guys, ROH, we've been with these guys for some years now. And yeah, we've been a little bit tight with the wallet, but wow, now it's looking as though these guys are really starting to get out here. They're making a name for themselves. Wow, they were able to sell out this arena. Look at what they did in New York here. Wow, okay, you know what? Maybe it's time that we actually start making some investments. Okay, maybe we should start kicking a little bit more money into this, right? And see, once you have that, oh my God, there is no limit, right? So to finally now reach this position, if you're a ROH fan, take this for what it's worth after this All-In event tonight. And I would imagine everybody's going to give it a lot of praise, right? It's going to get a pass from all the major outlets and all that. If you're Sinclair Broadcasting and you're pretty much saying that, hey, All-In, success. Yeah, the gears are turning already and you're going, okay, we really got to start getting behind this. There is money that we can make off of this, right? I don't think in my heart of hearts that ROH will meet the fate that WCW did. For all the bullshit that's put out there, let's understand something. When the AOL Time Warner deal went down, that is what killed WCW. Because they pretty much were like, this wrestling shit, yeah, get that out of here, okay? So I don't think Sinclair Broadcasting will ever, I think if anything, it was just at the time when Sinclair Broadcasting stepped in, got their ownership of ROH, it was, okay, we got this thing. Now let's see what happens. All right, we got some diehards, but, let's baby steps. And now for it to get to where it is now and the great, beautiful relationship that they have with New Japan, combine that with the fans yearning for more viable options for entertainment. I won't say resurgence, but I definitely will say they want more of a better alternative. I'll definitely say that. Let me look at a couple of more chats here in the chat room before we wrap it up. If you guys want to get in, call the number that's on the screen. I got it opened up. You can call in, let me know what you had thought about All-In as I'm going through the rest of these comments here. Because after this, I am going to get me some beautiful, lovely sleep. Alan was Flip booked. Flip was booked. Did Neville or Jericho? No, Neville. Jericho did make an appearance. And let's see what else we got here. Damn, War Dog. WWE needs to die. I don't know about all that, dude, but I mean, I feel your pain. I feel your pain, my fellow American. I feel your pain. Swollen One. That is one hell of a name. Hands down, best pay-per-view I ever seen. Didn't need Punk. Would have been nice. Considering how this, yeah, I'm with you, man. Considering how it turned out, it was okay. Stop watching wrestling when Punk left and Bryan got hurt. All right. Wookie, very underwhelmed by All In. It was okay, but it was not all it was hyped up to be. This was a huge cash grab by Cody and the Buck. Let's not forget the guy who is podcasting, the podcasting hero, Conrad. Man, I tell you, for me, I have no problem with what you had said, Wookie. I don't. And much love to Wookie. I see where you're coming from with that. I can see that argument. Can I tell you what I would like in closing? Can I tell you what I would like to see if the Young Bucks and Cody, if they do this again? Can I tell you what I honestly would like to see happen? My challenge to them would be, don't make it come off so money cash grabbing. Just simple things, like a perfect example. You look at how they do Awesome Con out here in the nation's capital. All right. If you're a vendor and you want to get yourself a table so that you can sell your artwork and all that, it's going to cost you maybe $300, $400. You have your table for that whole 3-day weekend, because the Awesome Con events, they are on a Friday, they go Saturday and then Sunday. All right. Typically it goes down around March, April, right? Right. So you got $400 for your table. Now, what I would like to see happen is, if you are a podcaster, I think that if you have an established podcast, you have a proven track record of downloads, monthly plays and all that, yearly plays, all that stuff, and your work has been featured many times by different sites or whatever, or you can at least just back up with analytics the type of numbers that you're getting. I think that much like with AwesomeCon, there should be an X amount of people that can apply to be part of the press media. So only a certain amount of press media passes can be distributed. After that, any other podcast, right, that wants to try to go to the event, then they're going to have to go as a vendor. And see, here's the thing. You're going to have so many of these podcasters that think, oh, well, because I'm going to be able to do this, this is going to get me instant clicks. It's going to get me downloads. It's going to get me, and that's not the case. At the end of the day, it is all about good old-fashioned networking. Pleased to meet you. Nice to know me. So what I would like to see happen is them come down on the prices for those aspiring podcasters that's looking to. I think charging $100 for an interview, especially if it's a situation where you got them for 30 to 45 minutes, I think that's more than feasible, quite honestly. I've been on the air since 2011. I've only had to pay for one interview, just one interview. I won't put the wrestler's name out there because, you know, I don't like that. But they were like, you know, hey, I would love to do your show, but, you know, hate to ask, but if I could actually use a little bit of money. And I said, well, what do you think is a fair price? And they told me, I said, well, I can make that work. That's very feasible. No problem. So $100 for an interview, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But for these podcasters, aspiring podcasters at that's a couple of months in, or, you know, they can't crack that code to get growth, and they're hoping that, oh, well, maybe an event like this. I do have a little bit reservation, and those are the words I'm going to stay with. I do have reservation over how this all was laid out, because it really kind of came off as if they really did not try to really make this affordable. I'm not saying you got to do layaway bullshit or anything like that, but, you know, make them really feasible. And that's the thing that I like about this AwesomeCon event. And it just turned 5 years old. And with the AwesomeCon events, getting your table and all that, it's very affordable. And the best part, you have X amount of time to pay off that money before the event happens. Okay. So yeah, there are some questionable things that I look back in retrospect and what they did, and it was, you know, but at the end of the day, they did a good job bringing in the money. At the end of the day, they did a really good job in bringing in the money. They put eyes on their vision, and I hope that going forward, it's safe to say it's going to be at a much bigger venue. Have a feeling it's probably going to stay in the Midwest region. Be kind of nice if it could come up to New York, Philly, Jersey, or whatever, but we'll see what happens in due time. Honestly, I think they should do an All In 2 sequel in Chicago. I think they should just go to a bigger venue, quite honestly. See what else you guys are saying. What's up, Big J? What else we got here? Is that everybody? I think that's everybody. Let's see here. Hey, there you are. Plus, Lee, there is probably a power struggle between Vince and Triple H. I got something I want to say with regards to that too, with regards to H and Vince and just this whole, but I'll save that for Tuesday. All right, so there's no pay-per-view, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to say the show is DONE done. So at this point, your next edition of the RCWR show, I'll be coming at you guys on Tuesday. Hey, the day after Labor Day. I'll come at you guys on Tuesday, September 4th. I'll be right here, 10 p.m. Eastern, after SmackDown goes off the air. So do tune in. We'll also be streaming live on Spreaker and on the RCWR Show app, available for free in the Google Play Store. Just search RCWR Show. If you're new, welcome. Pleased to meet you. Nice to know me. Won't you please subscribe? If you subscribe, hit the bell notification. You'll never miss out on all the great content that comes your way each and every single week. Smash the like, all that good jazz. And that is gonna do it. Appreciate everybody that took the time out to check out this after show. Means a lot, especially those of you that's gonna be checking this out on demand. Have a good, safe Labor Day holiday. And please, if you're gonna be driving during the holiday break, do not drink and drive. Get yourself a Lyft, Uber, friend, somebody. Not to end it on a Debbie Downer, but on the way back home, me and the missus, I want to say maybe it was in Indianapolis, or maybe Indiana. I'm not really sure. Leaning more towards Indiana. But anyway, we saw a horrific accident, and 2 people were deceased, and we saw the sheets over them, and we're going, what the fuck? And the only 2 scenarios we could come up with, because it was pretty empty. I mean, it was just, there was nobody on the roads. I mean, and we were driving at that point for 2 hours, and it was just clear sailing. But we saw this tragic accident, and we're thinking to ourselves, well, it's a late Saturday night going into Sunday morning. So either somebody was speeding really, really fast, and or they were drinking. So I can't stress it enough. You know, when you're out there on the road, you know, be smart. If you're drinking, don't get behind the wheel. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, you got to think about not just you as a driver, but remember, when you're out there on the road, you're not just driving for yourself, you're also driving for other people. So take it easy, make some arrangements, and you know, I'm sure a good buddy or 2 wouldn't mind you sleeping in the car or whatnot. Last thing we need for you to do is be in a situation where you get in an accident or worse. So if your friends will let you crash on their sofa, that's great. If you got to end up sleeping in your car, hopefully, you know, it can just be a situation where you got the windows down, you're in a nice area, there's a nice cool breeze, and sleep it off for a couple of hours and then try to see how you feel. All right, guys, much love as always. I'm wishing all y'all to be safe, most importantly be kind to one another. I'll see y'all next go around. Y'all take care.